So, I wanted to include a little disclaimer. Based on last week's episode, I did leave it on a cliffhanger, and I feel kind of bad, but I gotta give it to In-N-Out.
Well, to be fair, the only reason you're giving it to In-N-Out is because we tried going to Capriati's and it was closed.
15 minutes.
They don't need to know that. We went to In-N-Out instead anyway.
We were 15 minutes late to Capriati's. So, it's a technical defeat.
Otherwise, Capriati's would have had it in the bag.
I don't know
in the
about
sandwich
that.
bag.
I'm not a whole big sandwich guy anyway.
Ooh, you just ate a burger, though.
That's a sandwich.
You motherfuckers.
You drink water today? That's a sandwich.
God
Wait,
damn
what?
it. What? Bro, you're fucking capping.
It's two oxygen. No, it's two hydrogen over oxygen, bro.
You motherfucker.
Oh, I'm not the one that came up with it. That was him.
But you're the one that made it make sense.
I explained it how he explained it to me.
Alright then, now back to the episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Put On a Headset. I'm this week's host, Louie, also known as Beta.
Is this the first time saying the name on the podcast?
Yes, it is.
Actually acknowledging it?
This is me. This is Louie.
Name reveal.
It's name review.
This is Manu,
What?
known as Manny.
Oh my.
Salty, also known as Salvador.
Who would have guessed?
Luna. My name is Tyler.
And then Claro, my name is Alicia, and I feel like this is probably a good idea considering how many recordings have we had now, and we keep letting the name slip at this point.
Alright. So now
We,
you have
we
a
were terrible with the names. to say
We
the
tried
least.
so hard to keep a persona up, but at the same time it's like,
persona.
I feel like this is actually a good step moving forward because it comes more natural. For
if
us
it
instead of-
slips, and it also helps the viewers because if we slip again, at least they know who we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Anyways.
I definitely feel in some of the older episodes we would just say a random name, and I feel like you could tell people were probably confused on that.
Wait, who's Luna again? No.
Wait, Luna? Who's Tyler? He didn't introduce himself in the intro.
But anyway, this week we're going to be talking about more traditional media, such as tabletop games, card games, other things of the sort. I know I probably sound like an old man trying to relive his nostalgia days, considering my last topic was about our favorite games growing up, and now we're going back
Board
to
games.
board games.
Hey, board games go hard.
They do.
They do, bro, especially Uno, man.
Fuck you.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Stop it.
I got some crazy stories about Uno. From Uno Flip to Uno Rabbits.
Oh,
Two mousetrap.
Funny story. So on Christmas, I went over to a friend of the family's house.
mm-hmm.
We played Uno Flip, and I called the mom of all the kids a whore.
What?
Right in front of one of the kids.
You know,
They
that's how
hit you?
serious Uno can get.
I've never
can
gone
really
that
get serious.
serious.
You know,
Okay.
forget about Uno. The amount of friendships I've almost ended with Monopoly.
Oh,
Yeah, fuck
oh
you.
yeah.
And if you want to throw it in there, Mario Party, even though we're talking about traditional media,
I mean, it is kind of a board game.
It kind of.
It's
like,
a virtual
It's
board
a
game.
virtual board game that just ruins relationships.
Which one?
Mario Party.
Catan. US.
It's like
I'm not good
I
at that
think
game.
it pass.
I would give Mario Party a pass, honestly.
Because
Yeah.
it's
It-
kind
it
of
is a
closer to
board
like
game.
Cranium. If we had to
Cranium?
compare it to a
I've
board
never
game.
played Cranium.
Well, then never mind.
Is that like the hourglass one?
Yeah, or no.
Is that the one where you eat the weird thing?
What the fuck? What kind of
jelly
board games you
bean
playing?
Anyways, back to the host.
Anyways, one thing I kind of wanted to bring up today is favorite board games, like favorite things growing up. You know, before we had our own money to buy technology, to buy our own video games. You know, what kind of games did you guys play growing up, like in your immediate family households?
Escaleras y serpientes.
Marbles and dogs.
Uh,
Loteria and dominoes.
what are you talking about?
They would call out random things
Shoots and
put a
ladders.
bean on it.
Shoots and
Oh,
ladders,
yeah, that was
Escalators,
fun.
escalators,
Escalators.
Dude, dominoes.
Oh,
Dominoes.
It's
were
literally
fun.
the Mexican
Oh,
equivalent of that
Domino's game.
Yeah, it's literally.
Oh yeah, dominoes.
It's literally the same thing as Shoots and Ladders, except the Tapatio man is on the.
Well, I'm waiting for you guys, not gonna lie.
Well, why don't we start with the host?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Alicia actually called it out like right on the head. Snakes and Ladders was like the first game that my parents introduced me with. Aside from that, Chinese checkers.
Oh yeah.
What?
Like,
I
you know
fuck with
that-
Chinese checkers, right?
Yeah, the one with when it's like a giant circle.
it's like a
and
6-pointed star, kind of.
Yeah.
and you have the marbles, and the whole point of it
I
is to
haven't
try to
played
get
that
it to
game
the
in
opposite.
forever.
Yeah, I've seen it.
The
but
earliest
I've never played
memories
it.
of that game were during Christmas. My aunt and my mom. would
Oh
always
yeah, like at family gatherings with Beta, and we'd always have like a table basically in the kitchen where the moms hung out basically. because they don't speak English and they're just like old school like Hispanics, so they just like to like gossip and shit while they're like around the Chinese checker table. You good, man? Oh my god, I feel so bad for the people who don't have the visual for this.
I don't know what happened, but I just got a really bad cramp.
Like I say, very bad whiplash.
Oh my god.
Like I just extended my leg and it just.
My man saw the. I looked over.
Vitamins, bro.
I look over for 1 second. My man is witnessing the face of God.
Tell me, do you fear God?
Tell me, Sephiroth.
I guess you're feeling more and more like an old man by the minute.
God, maybe I am just the old man of the group.
You're the oldest.
I think I'm the second youngest, actually.
Yeah, no, these two have to be younger, aren't they?
Yeah,
I'm
You're
not
right.
gonna.
You're the middle
expose
child
my
of
age,
us.
but
Yeah.
I'm
definitely
directly in the
youngest.
middle.
Yeah, you're the middle child of our
I'm
group.
the oldest here. I'm not even.
You're the least responsible out of all of us.
I know.
I don't know if that's true.
There's a fierce competition between the youngest and the oldest. Right?
Hey,
That's not a good thing.
I don't know how to feed myself, gang.
Let's
Oh,
go,
just me,
let's
just me.
Don't worry, bro. I can't cook either.
Nah, get your hand out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I can cook one thing.
Beef.
Eggs,
No, it's tortillas and eggs.
bro. Breakfast burrito, gang. I
No.
can cook eggs like a motherfucker.
No, there's this Mexican dish called chilaquiles, where it's basically
I
just
should look up.
you cook like torn up tortillas in oil and like to harden them to like kind of like chip consistency almost, but not all the way. And then you break like an egg or two on top of it and you mix it together. It's hella good.
I
I'd
wish our
have to try
schedules
it one
aligned
time.
so you could
It's
make that
just
one out for me.
tortilla and just eggs, and if you want cheese on it, you can just throw in some cheese on it too.
Oh, throw some
The most
chorizo in
Mex-
it, dude.
The
Yeah.
most
Nah,
Mexican
I like
thing
to
I
keep
know how to
mine
make
simple.
is just chorizo, and that's just heating it up.
The most Mexican thing I know how to cook is a burrito I found at 7-Eleven.
You had it? You just like picked it up from the ground?
It was like outside the 7-Eleven on the curb.
You said, I will heat this up so good.
Oh, when are we supposed to be talking about traditional media?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're supposed to be talking about traditional media, but we digressed. Honestly, I don't mind.
But back to I feel like us especially, we're like in such a unique scenario compared to other generations when it comes to traditional media, because I feel like even if we were lower income or anything, like at a young age, technology was already like a presence in a lot of households.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we came around, like one of my earliest memories is getting that GameCube on Christmas. Like I had to in a sense like revert back to traditional media in order to enjoy it. Like it wasn't like a sense of nostalgia or like a familiarity to it. I just wanted to like explore it because it looked interesting.
Bro, that's why I bought all the old games for Pokemon.
I mean, definitely growing up, I feel like that's a generational thing too, because considering that I have two older brothers,
Yeah.
their form of entertainment consisted of
Like
a lot of traditional media. Considering
Yeah.
there wasn't any video games, there wasn't any like electronics that they could have used during their time.
And even
so-
if they didn't have electronics, it was stuff like CDs or like tapes where they had to like inventorize like everything together.
Oh man, recording tapes
Yeah, like-
on a freaking
Like
video.
one of my brothers still has like this
Oh.
like CD book. You know, like the one that has like all the sleeves in it.
Did you guys ever get like a portable CD player
No,
though?
no.
Dude, that was
Dude,
the
that
shit
was
when I got
shit.
one.
Bro, see that's the generation gap right there. I had an MP3 player by like the 3rd grade,
The big three.
and I still have it, and I low key want to see what songs are
Dude,
on.
getting
I
a
don't
BlackBerry
have
was
the
dope
MP3,
though.
bro,
Like
but,
getting a
like-
BlackBerry was actually kind of fun.
And, like,
Because
have,
it would
like-
have like the thing instead of having to go 111 or like you would have like the whole keyboard with the BlackBerry.
Like I had like no need for like the MP3 during that time. Like I just brought my phone, and then when 3G came out,
You never got
I
your-
downloaded The Sims, and we had like board games on the phone as well.
No, like for my family, we like I got basically like a hand-me-down MP3 player eventually. And it was like one that was like it was like a little pill basically.
Yeah, I
That
know what
it
you're
was
talking
basically
about.
just
Like-
big enough for a single AAA battery to fit inside of it, and that's what
the
powered it.
fuck?
And I would just like rotate out rechargeable AAA batteries.
Was it like red?
No, it was white. It was like
Oh,
white, and it had like three ends to it, kind of. It was like a ribbed. Like,
I thought
cylinder,
when you said it was like
kinda.
a little pill, I was like, oh, you might have the same one that I had because
No.
like mine also took a battery, and I remember I would get music off like LimeWire.
Oh,
and
fucking
shit.
kill your
yeah, kill my fucking
PC for the
computer.
fucking for the hits.
Man, forget about MP3s. Back when I had to listen to music, I used my DSi.
Oh yeah, he carried around his 3DS.
I had a My Chemical Romance in my 3DS. I'd be going to school like, hey bro, you want to listen to this?
Let me change the song real quick. Let me- oh shit! It paused. Let me go to the next bubble.
Pulls out stylus.
Oh, you don't like the song? Here, I got you.
what I had for music back then is I had a little like square iPod about this big.
Oh, the shuffle?
Look at you.
I think it was the iPod Nano or something.
Mhm.
And I got it from a friend's I got it from my cousin's girlfriend at the time when I was in like 5th grade. And there was like 4 things on it. It was Owl City, fucking Katy Perry, Bruno Mars, and I don't remember what the last one was.
I'm like cringing, not gonna lie, because like I used to carry a lot of the iPhone stuff because I would always like buy them from like the flea market.
But it
It'd
was
be like, here you go.
it was terrible because I didn't know how to download like more songs. And the Owl City album, it was which album it was, but it was the one with Fireflies on it.
Of course.
And all of the songs were like numbered and unknown artist, so I just knew them as song 9.
Yep.
And I was like, when I fucking heard them on the radio, I couldn't
the
name
Moon
them because I was like, oh my god, this is song 11. And I'm like,
Oh my
song
God.
11.
There's also CDs as well.
Ooh, my mom still has tapes. Like she still has like a boombox that can play them.
VHS tapes.
No, like cassette tapes for
Yeah,
music.
dude, that's so wow.
But going back to traditional media then.
Yeah, honestly.
Like I see it now still with like my niece and like some of the younger generation, because like one thing that I got super big into with my brother when we were little, and we came back to it like 10 years after, was Yu-Gi-Oh! And like
Yes, sir.
like physical card games, and it's like we still play it to this day, and sometimes when she's over she sees it and she wants to join in, but it's like we've been doing this for like 6 years probably. There's
How
too
do
much
you
to
introduce a
there's too
child?
much to teach someone,
it's too
especially like a
complicated for
kid.
child. Go play Fortnite.
especially like a kid. Like she's like 3 though, and she sees
Oh.
it and she just knows that she wants to play with it. And I feel like that's how I got into traditional media as like a little kid too, because I would just see people doing stuff and I wanted to do it, because it's like it's kind of different when you can actually like see everything going on in a sense.
I mean, half of the reason that I personally got into Yu-Gi-Oh was the fact that my older sibling just had a deck.
Like not even a deck, like just a stack of
fat
cards.
stack of cards, right? And at first, I just kind of thought like, oh, these look kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then as I got older, I started realizing, oh,
These are shit.
like no, there's like words, there's effects like
Oh,
on
yeah.
the
There's
monster
words.
cards. Like they
No, like
actually
I
do
remember, I
things.
definitely remember that too when we were little, when we would just like see the number and just like summon it out.
This one has this many stars, so it's better than yours, monster.
Dude, during
But, like-
my time I had Beyblades.
You guys were
Oh.
using dual monster rules right
Yeah,
there.
bro, we were doing like the bullshit, like, oh, they have the same attack points.
Destroy the
Mine's-
moon!
No, bro, mine's level 4, yours is level 3. Mine wins that match right there. And we'd have we get like sheets of like notebook paper
To write
basically,
down how much
to
the-
write down the life points
Yes.
next to each other, and we basically have like a stack of like 200 cards each, and be like, which stack do you want today? And we at the end of it we just pile them all back together into 2 stacks, not even keeping track of anything.
Back in the old days when MST used to negate.
That's what I used to do with
You mean
Pokemon.
when Mirror Force
feel like
used
everyone-
to destroy your life points?
I feel like Pokemon's even harder to try to figure it out as a kid.
Yeah.
Dude,
Even now.
I had my own ghetto rules. I went off how the game's played.
Yeah,
There was
that's
like 6 Pokemon,
I played
and then you play one at a
dude.
time, and then
yeah.
it was like on a knockout system.
Pogs were dude. I mean, I guess the word that technically I grew up was Tazos. Just like having like the fucking
Oh,
like just
man.
having like that fucking mountain of like Pogs and
Opening
shit.
up the chips to find
Opening the chips, deadass just like pulling it out, putting it in your pocket, and then eating the chips, and then just like, ah yes, pristine. You have to like take off like the chip dust of it, take off the plastic, put it into the pile.
Alright.
I remember I had a shit ton of Pokemon ones that my mom ended up getting me. I don't know how she got it.
Wasn't there like a huge scandal in Mexico where they just like threw out any Pokemon related things because they thought it was related
Yup.
to like the devil?
My mom and grandma weren't too religious, so I didn't get affected by that. But a lot of my friends did. So like,
I remember that
because at the time, like the Tazos were like the Pokemon one, the Yu-Gi-Oh ones, and I think it was Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Mucha Lucha, and like some other like cartoons and shit.
Wow.
And like a lot of them, like parents just were like, oh no cartoons and shit, like they threw them away. And I was like,
How did you even play with Tazos? Because I always got them. And I was
so
like,
it's
these are-
basically kind of like you put your most priced ones. It's kind of like,
Do you want to explain what a Tazo is?
yeah, so it's just Pogs, and which is just like a certain Pogs. It's Pogs. Like Tazos is just Pogs. Except Pogs were more like treated more as a weird. You buy multiple at once rather than you get them through chips and you collect your way up through them.
And
But-
if you don't know what Pogs are, essentially he's describing a little disc that has 2 sides, usually one with like a portrait of a character, and the back is just like information.
Yeah, and usually just like put your price like your price Tazo. It's usually like the rare, like the foil ones, the metal ones, the really like the fan favorite character ones, and you make a pile of them depending on how many people. At most it should be like 10. So usually, that, and then you grab like whichever Pog you want to use, tap the side of it at the top, and you just like slam it down as hard as you can, and however fall face down, you keep.
Okay.
And if it went down to the last one, who
Like when me and my brothers used to find them, we didn't actually know how to play with them, so we would just like spin around like how you do with the coins and do like
What the fuck?
do like the flick to keep it spinning, and just use them like as big oversized like coins at that point.
damn.
Remember when we had a Beyblade phase?
Oh, bro, everyone
had
has
a
a
Beyblade.
big
Dude, I would
dude,
buy
I
so
had
many bootleg
so much
Beyblades. The
freaking
fucking
Beyblades.
like the pulling part would like fucking
No,
break.
there's like a literal moment where our Beyblade phase ended, and that's when mine absolutely obliterated Luis's in the
No,
most
it was the other way around.
Oh, in the most but in the most cinematic way possible. Like we ended up putting it into like a baking pan.
We
like,
used a glass baking
clear-
pan.
right? Nothing happened to the baking pan, but the Beyblades at some point his pushed mine up against the wall, and the pressure made it like leap like 10 feet in the air, and as it was spinning, it went straight up, and as it was spinning in the air, it like
Literally dispersed.
it like like the core had come loose and it unscrewed mid-air, and it's just like you could see the layers up in the air.
And Luis is
Did you guys ever like mix and match your yours?
Yeah. We like Supersonic when like he gets rid of all the Chaos Emeralds.
And that was the moment our Beyblade phase ended.
Me and my
Wow.
sister used to like take ours apart, and we would fucking like mix them around and shit, and then we wouldn't screw them on.
So you would let them explode?
No, and we had this whole like thing. It was like a turbo destruction, and we fucking ripped them. And
You know what's
whichever
funny?
one fucking exploded
The newest
first.
versions of Beyblade have that. If you hit a specific point in the newer Beyblades, they explode.
Oh
So
my
that's a
God.
feature now.
You know, before the baking tray, we actually used his sled.
Yeah, we
as
use like
the
this
arena.
Oh,
those
really?
like circular sleds that like have like a slight
Oh.
slope to them.
Yes.
Oh.
It was the lamest shit.
So,
ever.
have you
First, can I
guys?
remember? Oh yeah, for us, we would just go to the store, buy a cheap ass like plastic tub, cut it around, make our own, and just make like lines and shit. You have to do something.
For those wondering, we're not laughing at him being poor. We're laughing at him cutting off Luna. Go on.
With
Luna.
all due respect.
With all due respect, go.
Have you guys ever heard of the battle hamsters?
What?
What? G-force?
No. I cannot for the life of me remember what they're called. But they were like
Hamtaro?
hamsters. But they were like, okay, they had batteries in them, and they
Fur buddies. Like
These?
that?
Oh.
I swear you're talking
Yeah,
about...
that's what that
They're
is.
called battle hamsters.
Oh, shit.
Wait,
No.
no, that's not what they're
no
actually
idea what the
called.
hell. I think
They're
they're
not?
called G.
They're called battle hamsters.
No fucking way.
That's what they say they're called. Kung Zoos.
Kung Zoos. Oh my god.
Oh,
so,
pets.
okay.
Susan.
What? No.
Kung Zoos. Me and my sister had like 10 each, and we had this arena where they would fight. And this arena, after we had left the Kung Zoo phase and entered the Beyblade phase, the arena stayed, and that's what we used. But
Oh god.
those Kung Zoos, holy shit! They had a DS game too that I 100%ed.
They had a cartoon
Jeez,
apparently. Oh, is it this one?
Do you guys remember like those
I
little
guess.
like robotic insects?
Yes,
that-
the nanobots.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, I remember passing by those and I was like, damn, that looks so cool, but you need to buy a lot
Nanomites.
for you to have fun with
They're
them.
so expensive.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to have like 3 of them, and that's
Damn.
about it. And a little farm.
Do you guys ever have like those like weird connect boxes that was like stick figures and stuff, and you have to like connect them and stuff to make like a weird like I don't know city?
Are you talking about like those magnetic balls?
magnetic-
Yeah.
Sticks?
Oh,
It was like I can't remember what it was.
I know what
called.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
It
I don't
wasn't
know what they're
Kinects.
called, but
It was.
right, it's like the magnetic like sphere, right? And then it has like the sticks that you just connect them with.
Yeah, and I remember the main colors were like blue, yellow, and green.
Yeah, these ones.
That's it.
Yeah.
I remember they're called Zuzu pets, the
stick pods.
hamsters. Like I think the battle versions are called Kung Zoos, but the main lane is Zuzu pets.
Did you guys ever get into Bakugan?
Yeah.
That's his name, bro, on PlayStation.
Oh yeah, that's why he's Brawl. Is that where Brawler comes from?
Yup.
You're a
Brawler-
battle brawler.
My name was originally gonna be Bakugan Brawler, but it was too long.
What?
So I just got stuck with Brawler.
Bakugan Brawler
It's stuck.
was too long, but mine is Po Nuber. and that fit.
I remember I got one Bakugan like out of a Happy Meal. And I just kept it because it's basically just like a glorified magnet because I didn't know how to actually use it. I just kept it on the fridge for like the longest time ever.
The ones at McDonald's were like the big plastic
Yeah,
ones,
the,
you know?
they had a button too. They didn't even fucking open with the magnetic cards. You had to fucking press the button and put it on. Which defeated the point. Because the point of Bakugan is you were supposed to roll it onto the metal cards so that it would open.
So you would throw them?
You got me dummy stupid
Shit,
if you think
my
I'm gonna buy
Bakugan
those
nerd
cards.
just leak through shit.
Dude, freaking,
I have a chest probably like half the size of that container full of Bakugan still.
Great visual for the listeners.
Yes, it's like a 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot cube. And for you British listeners, go fuck yourself. I'm kidding.
It's
sorry.
approximately 0.6 meters by 0.6 meters.
Dude, Bakugan and like Pokemon cards out of a Happy Meal though.
The Pokemon cards kind of went hard.
The Pokemon cards, yes.
My sister has a Detective Pikachu Pokemon card that she keeps in her car.
Do you guys remember when
gonna-
McDonald's used to give out Bionicles?
Yes!
Bionicles.
I'm on the longest hunting spree to get all of them. And I remember I missed
Really?
like 2 of them because I could never get. I was never there the week that they gave those 2.
I was that way with Skylanders. I had all of the first and second gen Skylanders.
Damn, bro, I'm over here collecting statues still.
Hey, I'm still collecting Pokemon cards. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm still collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Me too.
There is something wrong with that.
A grown man.
It's okay, bro, but
No, it'd be a problem if you were buying booster packs or like you wouldn't even, if you weren't buying singles, it'd be a problem. But you're buying singles, so it's not a problem.
I still buy boosters.
you're a competitor.
Speaking of Pokemon cards,
Speaking of booster
How'd you
packs,
get into
Clara, did you see? I pulled the Secret Hollow Eternatus from the Darkness Ablaze box.
I did see that.
Yeah, it was
What?
fucking crazy. The
Did you ever
VMAX
sell
one.
that lily?
No.
$500 lily?
I probably should because they need money,
You should.
and I don't like trainer cards.
Because one thing I've definitely learned with card games is that you can never hold on to something for too long.
Yeah.
Because either it's gonna graze, or it's gonna dip. It rarely ever stays static.
Well, it's a Sun and Moon card, so it can only go down so low.
That's true. But like, unless it's like a super like collector's item, it's gonna go down eventually.
Yeah.
That's how it feels like with a lot of things. Because I have no idea how competitive Pokemon shapes the price of the cards.
Me neither.
idea.
Because at least because like, isn't Pokemon like a set rotation game?
I have no fucking clue.
Because with Yu-Gi-Oh, it's like there's no set rotations, so it's like you can always use any card from any set, so long as like you just own the proper copy. And it's not like a old card that had an updated effect.
Hold on.
So it's like going back to that. It's like with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, it's so hard to like figure out what the price is gonna be like within like a couple months because there's so much factors like the ban list, the competitive format that you just can't see it coming in a sense. Like I've seen cards like drop to like half their price like overnight or like 10 times its price
That's
in an
really
afternoon.
Wild.
Just
I've seen
depending
a
on-
card go from $5 to $40.
Oh yeah, I love that.
oh shit!
There was a card that Beta needed for one of his decks that he was gonna get 3 of, and it was at $5. So it's like it's pricey, but it's
do I spend food on takeout today or do I buy these cards?
I feel that.
So he was debating on $15, right? And then like the next day he's like, you know what, $15 ain't that bad. Let me just pull that up. And he goes to the website, $35 per copy, overnight.
Y'all ever play Mousetrap?
That shit is
Oh, I love Mousetrap.
You have you played Mousetrap?
I was actually gonna choose Mousetrap.
Dude, that one's so fucking fun, and that was the only one I was able to order through phone because I asked my mom.
Wait, what was Mousetrap?
Mousetrap is basically like a board game, but every time you hit specific space, you set up the mousetrap, and whoever actually traps the mouse, like, because you have to go like back and forth around the board, and one of the spots is under the cage, but you still have to build up the trap as you play on. And at some point there should be a point where if you trap the other 3, then you win. If you trap yourself, well then you get out, and then you have to keep doing it all over.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I never played that game.
Bro, I
Yeah,
played
this is what it
Candyland.
looked like.
Yeah, I played
Candyland.
I played the game of life.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, there were all these like
Candyland.
traps and
Candyland
stuff.
was my favorite
Like-
game out of all of them.
I remember my first
Wait,
time playing
what?
Candyland was actually at a round table because like I guess round table used to provide a handful of board games.
They did, they used to,
Candyland
yeah.
It was one of them.
Candyland was like one of my favorite ones because like you make it all the way to the end and it gets really difficult out of the nowhere because like every spot's like a death trap. It's like a minefield now.
Same things with eels and escalators.
Talking about a game that you just find in like an office, like the one I always found in places was Connect 4, but I played Connect 4 for the first time on Club Penguin.
Dude, playing Connect 4 with the basketball game.
No.
Do it at round 1.
Mm.
I love that one.
I've only ever
Dude.
before Club Penguin. I didn't know Connect 4 was a real game. I thought it was like a mini game made up by the developers.
I used to kick ass at Connect 4. I still do.
Those
Bet?
there's actually a farming method in Connect 4 round 1
A farming method?
to farm tickets.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you fucking swipe once, go ooh, ooh.
So like you just
Oh, there's four.
you just keep on
90
negating every
tickets.
single 4
Mhm.
until you get a tie. and
That
then
gives
it
out the most
restarts it.
tickets.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, you could hella use your friend 1, 2, 3, red.
You just
1, 2,
gotta
3,
be skilled to
red.
shoot the ball
One,
in.
two,
My
What do you
my
want?
ticket
Mm.
farming method is the piano tiles machine. I get mad tickets on that bitch. By the way, I went there with my sister, and I was like, you know what? I'll give it one just for a good measure. I got the #1 score. I beat my other scores on the first try.
Man, I love talking about arcades on this traditional media episode.
Sorry about
I mean,
that.
it's traditional.
Connect 4.
Actually,
What do you mean?
Going out of topic, a game that looked really fun in SpongeBob was the treasure one that you had to dig up.
Oh, that had the actual
Yeah,
palace
the
stand
actual
in the
palace.
middle of
That
it.
looked so fun. I was like, damn, I would love something
That would be
like
so messy in real life, though.
Did you
It-
Moon Sand.
Oh, bro.
did you guys ever do the excavation mini kits with all the little tools and all the sand, and you had to dig up the bones?
No, bro. It wasn't
No.
that
No,
much.
No.
my parents would never buy me that because they'd say you do it once and then you'd never touch it again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the point. You put the fucking skeleton on display, and then it's like, whoa, I got a dinosaur.
Lamau.
I say as I now build pirate ships that I get to assemble once.
Did you guys ever get those mail-in prices that you have to mail in a certain amount of
I
items?
never believed in those.
I got
Same.
that. In
Actually, there's one prize that we had that lasted 15 years. Do you ever remember that lime green soccer ball that we used to use for everything?
Yes.
So we got that from sitting in 5 tokens from Pop-Tart boxes.
Oh.
And it was like a lime green Adidas soccer ball that we actually kept in the family for 15 years before it finally burst open.
Wow.
My stepdad, he was telling me all these stories of doing that with the Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
What did he get out
Yeah.
of the Kool-Aid?
I don't remember, but he got Kool-Aid stuff.
Oh.
Kool-Aid brand merch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, back then, that sounds dope.
Honestly, now that I'm older, I started doing more the receipt surveys because I've seen more and more people win them because no one does them at all. I had a friend in high school, and then one day on the bus, he was just telling me that his cousin had finished the survey at Taco Bell while they were there, and they won $500.
What?
Yeah, you remember him, right?
I
Okay.
think I do.
I used
Yeah.
to.
Wow.
And then because he was eating with him, he just gave him the other like half of it, $250.
All right. Theoretical question: if we were to go get food, right?
Mhm.
But you were paying for me, but I was the one that drove us there, and the receipt won. Who is the winner of that? The person that took you to get food, or the person that bought the food?
Whoever paid for the food, whoever's name is on the
that even
receipt.
a question?
Whoever's name is on the receipt.
Well, we
bro.
wouldn't have gotten the food if it wasn't for the person that took you.
Okay,
though.
but
So?
he paid for
He
it.
paid for it. Bro, the receipts, the name's on the receipt. You can take that to court. That receipt's gonna be the only evidence you got.
Your Honor, I ran his ass over.
Speaking of other traditional media, one of us has gotten super into D&D recently.
Hey.
Talking about all the damn time.
It is me. It is I who's gotten into D&D.
And Manu.
And Manu, he's always been into it. He's been into it
I've
before
always
I was.
Yeah, Manu was
played
like,
this for so long,
it's
bro.
he's antiquated at this point.
He's a D&D veteran.
Whereas
Yeah.
Beta got
He's new to
super
it.
into it in the last couple months.
He's
Yeah,
a rookie.
it's something that I've always been really interested in, considering the kind of games I played growing up, like Fable 2. You can
Oh.
consider that one
Wow.
super in the traditional fantasy.
Skyrim.
Yeah, Skyrim, games like that. And so D&D's always been something that's always interested me, and it's something that's been around.
Oh, wrong?
It's something that's been around since the late 1900s.
Hundreds? That's a safe estimate right there.
Yeah, I don't know when it came out exactly, but it's definitely an old game. Getting into it now in the modern era, I just gotta say it's a lot of fun.
It's pretty cool. It's actually pretty fun too. Yeah.
The technical aspect of the game in of itself is very complex, and I feel that's personally why I have this attraction towards it, because it's kind of complicated, but once you get hang of the system, it's
dude,
super
flows.
straightforward. Yeah.
There's a Key and Peele skit that I absolutely love. I think it's Key and Peele. Don't quote me on that. But I think they're brothers, and they bring one of the brothers into this D&D session, and he's like, "What's this bitch ass shit?" And he's like, and they're like trying to be all like fantasy, like, "Oh, we're in a bar." He's like, "Hey, give me a tequila."
Yeah, dude.
And then the brother keeps getting super pissed off, and all the other nerds at the table are like, "Yeah, let's go get bitches." Go pick up medieval bitches.
It's so freaking true, though.
I don't know. The fact that you can literally express any sort of creative freedom is probably my second favorite thing about it. Like anything that you could think up, you can literally put it into the game if you have the right imagination and if you twist it the right way.
I smacked the bartender.
Roll
You
a
smack the bartender.
roll a d20.
I flirt with that
Roll a
cute girl.
D20.
All right, flirt with me.
Let's see.
That seeing the amount of effort that dungeon masters
You
put
got
into
16.
Wait, what?
Shut up.
You
See-
successfully flirt with the girl.
Yeah, seeing the amount of effort that dungeon masters put into controlling a game or a campaign, it's absolutely incredible. Like seeing someone that's had years of experience just go up there and start acting out all these different like
NPCs.
personalities, NPCs, and like come up with a dialogue and a story for each of your characters. It's honestly amazing.
It's talenting.
Very talented because the more experienced DMs, they change their voice, they change like their inflection, they change like so much things about how they're presenting themselves that it makes it feel like, you know, like a genuine character. And just the ability to be able to express yourself, kind of like different personalities / sides that you have into like an open atmosphere. I think that's part of the greatest part about that game.
We should honestly do like a one shot. Not gonna lie, like just
We'll record it.
if you guys want. Yeah.
We could do that. That could be your next topic.
Special.
Yeah.
That's our first special.
Claro, you actually have an interesting take on fantasy, on D&D.
Oh, my little thing I told you the other day.
Yeah, the thing you told me the other day. Would you like explaining your thought process or your sentiment towards what was it? What was the phrase?
Tolkien-based fantasy.
Tolkien-based fantasy.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I start to notice with the way Beta talks so much about D&D is kind of like, it sounds really fun conceptually, but I don't think I could get into it because it seems to be like the more I look into it and the more he shows me, it seems to be like heavily like traditional Western fantasy in a sense. And the thing is with like stuff like what's it called, Tolkien fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that don't know, like Tolkien's the guy who wrote Lord of the Rings. And like a lot of like his storytelling really influenced what the modern interpretation of fantasy is. That's kind of where like you get a lot of the modern stereotypes from. But yeah, going back on that, I think that's why I never really got into like a lot of like the fantasy genre like beforehand. It's kind of like it feels very repetitive. It's like a lot of people putting at least superficially, it feels like a lot of people putting their spin on an existing idea. And I think that's why I like me myself, I'm much more of a weeb, because that's also why I hate the isekai genre in anime. Because it's like the same problem. It's like everyone is just doing the exact same thing over and over again.
Self-insertive.
Yeah, not so much self-insertive, but like the actual like storytelling itself is way too repetitive. Like,
Oh,
you know
I
how
see what
like
you mean.
like when a good isekai comes out, it stands out because of how many bad isekais there were and how many of them felt the same.
A good
And-
isekai is just one that doesn't have a harem. There you go.
Well,
I have like
you never know.
the same thing. I actually don't like the Lord of the Rings.
Well, yeah, and I feel like with Western cause like I like fantasy, but not like Tolkien fantasy. So like stuff like One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach, they're like fantasy, but they're not. They don't share
They're
like
not
the
like your traditional fantasy.
Yeah, they're not like I like that definition of fantasy way more because I feel like the confines of Tolkien fantasy almost takes away like the inherent definition of fantasy, which is something that's like unrealistic and like magical and like whimsical kind of in a sense. But if it's all using the same template, then there's like you're just repeating rules in a sense to the point where it's kind of like it's not really fantastical anymore. It's just the same thing of this genre, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. You know, there hasn't really been a like Tolkien type anime. Now that I
Yeah.
think about it.
In a while.
Not in a while, because I know they exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like with that thing, it's like a lot of the things that are based off of like Western fantasy. It's like if you don't like the genre within that of Tolkien fantasy, it's kind of difficult to branch into anything that is Western fantasy. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I can see
Because
that.
if anything steps out from Tolkien fantasy, at least in the US, I feel like they always throw different genres onto it, like a Western fantasy, a sci-fi fantasy. Like the term fantasy has almost kind of been butchered to the point where it's just this kind of like interpretation of fantasy, and that's kind of what I'm like. I'm not really interested in that interpretation of fantasy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So like stuff like that didn't really appeal to me. So when I hear a lot of the things he says about D&D, I'm just like, yeah, like the actual like game mechanics sound really cool. The rest of it, not so much.
Yeah, I can see that. Especially because, like, now, our generation, we've been dealing with, like, that type of fantasy for over, like, 30 years at this point. Or, like, however.
Like, that's the same reason I didn't get into Game of Thrones. Like,
oh, yeah,
a lot of people say Game of Thrones is, like, a deconstruction of fantasy. But even then, I'm just kind of like, yeah, but it's still in fantasy. Like, I don't want to watch that shit. Like, it's too much, like a hole that I just don't want to go into, in a sense.
It's kind of just like very cookie cutter, right?
Like superficially.
Almost.
I feel like the deeper you get into it, you definitely probably see the nuance.
But just like from my perspective, someone that barely got into Dungeons and Dragons just recently,
yeah,
I would say that it's very linear in terms of what you can do as like a very entry level player.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the part that I don't want to like have to deal with, because it's like if it's very linear at the beginning, I understand that it'll probably branch out more the further you go into it. Mm-hmm. But just that beginning, it's like if you can't retain the audience past the beginning, it's not gonna work out. And I feel like that would probably be what happens to me. So we'll see what happens. But like, yeah, that's why I don't really like delve too much into fantasy. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're looking for something that's more nuanced and has a lot of depth in fantasy, then in some ways you need to appreciate the fundamentals of fantasy, or specifically Tolkien fantasy. And I feel like those, like, even the ones that are considered better works, I probably wouldn't enjoy because I don't enjoy the fundamentals of it.
Exactly.
Not to say that they're bad, it's just they're not for me.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on from the D&D tangent.
You know, we haven't talked about card games yet. No, I'm not talking like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. I'm talking about like actual cards.
Oh, like solitaire?
Yeah.
Like blackjack?
So.
Blackjack's
Oh, no. Don't get me back on blackjack, bro.
Most of
I lost so much money.
Most of
Wait a
my,
minute.
Whoa, you wasted money on that? You actually,
most of my entertainment before
We're
I
in the
was,
state
like,
of, with a proud state of Nevada. Gambling's our biggest export.
Why does everyone do this to me?
I apologize.
With all due respect.
Most of the entertainment I got before I was about 9 years old came from card games. Like, have any of you guys played Rummy?
Gin Rummy?
Yeah.
No idea what
Nope.
I've heard of it.
Oh, it's really fun. I used to play it a lot with my parents, but most of what I did, me and my cousin, we had like, I think 3 decks of cards, and we would play shit like War, Trash, there was Speed.
Speed is the one that I used to play, because me and my all my siblings are like, they were all into sports, they're all super competitive, so doing Speed was basically just like a reflex game against them.
Yeah, Trash was one of my favorites, even though it was all luck. And War, when you were playing with 2 people, it was literally luck. It was like RNG the game.
I just realized something. We just because you mentioned War, I just realized we never talked about Battleship.
We'll
I didn't
get
really
there.
play Battleship.
No?
No.
I've played it every now and then, but it wasn't like...
I've never owned Battleship.
It wasn't a staple in our household.
I remember owning like a little like pocket-sized one.
But poker, like Texas Hold'em, was like, I love Texas Hold'em.
Dude, it's such a fun game, but
I'm glad I'm not
You're scaring Molly.
Oh no, trust me. Okay, so I used to play lots of Texas Hold'em with my family, and we would actually bet money on it.
Whew.
And you know, I would always go for it because I would get money out of it. That's how I got my PS3.
You gotta go big or go home.
So there was this one time I went double or nothing, and my dad got me the PS3 instead of just giving me money. I think he probably found it from the pawn shop.
Funny story, the Hydreigon that I have in my binder right now, the one with the corner cut off, that one actually came from a game of Texas Hold'em between me and my cousin.
Wow.
Because we got it, I don't remember how we got it, but it was like a 50-50, like who gets it. And we were like, Texas Hold'em. And I won.
Like
Also,
the only like actual card game that I actually kind of learned the rules to was Tycoon because of Persona 5 Royale. In the Thieves Den. I remember the first time they introduced you to that game, I spent like 3 hours on it and I never touched it again.
Dude, same. Like, once you became good enough to, like, smack the AI with your big fucking long dick.
Alright, chill.
Deck.
Deck.
Deck. It was like, all right, I can win no matter what. Now it's just like, I'm never gonna play this again.
Blackjack was something different, bro.
What happened to you?
So
You're looking like you're having war flashbacks.
it was really bad because, you know, I got 21, and, you know, that's a win.
Uh-huh.
So I went double or nothing, then I got the same thing, 21. That's rare.
My man has good luck.
And then he kept it
Pressed
going.
didn't
And I
you?
decided
You
to keep on
motherfucker.
going.
I would have drawn the line at 2.
I kept on going. I wanted to push my luck. Knowing my luck, something bad always ends up happening after getting like too much luck. Like for example, last time I crashed my car, but yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so I hit, and the first thing I got was a king. And I was like, fuck, I need a ace. I haven't gotten a single ace. So I was like, maybe this is the one.
Oh no.
Destiny drew.
This is the one. And ended up being another king, and I was like, fuck! I went over by like 20. And I lost everything.
And
I
just like
lost-
that, Manu was homeless.
The intro to a tragedy. I lost everything that night.
So that's why I'm just like, I kind of don't want to go to a casino because I know I'll push my luck really hard.
Oof.
And
At
Isn't
least
that
you know your limits.
For visual stimulus, he's sitting in the corner holding the whale or hugging the
He's
whale
crazy.
right now.
He's cradling it
Man's having
with a
flashbacks.
1,000-yard stare.
blackjack, solitary, goldfish.
Goldfish.
Go-
Hey, that one went hard.
Yeah, dude, we used to play that. It was fun.
I loved playing solitaire when I was by myself. It's a sad card game, but it's also really entertaining.
Oh, I just love playing with myself.
I did that a lot. Wait.
Oh, me too, bro. I did that like
Bro, I still do that. Come
in the
on.
bathroom.
I meant like
In the bathroom?
in
I
the
hope
bathroom.
not-
You play
hope not this
board games in
bathroom.
the bathroom?
I take my Switch in there, bro. I play with myself.
No, you play with the Switch. Wait.
Wait, how does that work for you guys? Because you guys take the Switch into the bathroom. How do you guys do that?
You just
You
it's
just
a handheld
sit.
console, you dumbass.
Yeah,
what do you do with
but-
your phone when you're in there?
Yeah, but at some point I put the phone into my pocket so that I can clean up.
Yeah.
Wait,
You
hold
just
on.
put it on your knee or like
Do you not pull your pants down when you know?
Yes. Yes.
So then you pull it back up just to put your phone in, then they
No,
pull it
I
back down.
like slide it in there while they're like lowered.
There's a counter. Just
Oh
put it
yeah,
over the
do that
counter.
too. But like with the Switch.
On the counter.
On the
It
counter.
fits
It's
on the
actually how
counter.
I broke my
Yeah.
Joy-Con is because I smacked it on the counter
I don't-
in the bathroom.
I mean, we can't. I mean, I don't think Louis can do that anymore because he has a case now. But
Oh yeah, that thing's gonna fall forward.
Yeah, I caught a case.
What? That's how I broke that.
Anyways, back to traditional media. There was this weird phenomenon that happened in high school where in the soccer team, we all just got super into chess one year. Like my sophomore year, like we all just started playing chess out of nowhere because I think it was around the time that I think Games
started
Pigeon came
going
out.
on.
But it didn't have chess yet because the original version of Games Pigeon didn't have chess. It just had like pool and like the cup game. But then someone just like talked mad shit that, oh, if it was chess, I would kick all your asses. And then everyone just downloaded this like Chess with Friends app.
Oh
and
my
like
god.
registered accounts to it and everything.
Everybody had that.
And then like for some reason like 10 kids out of the soccer team just started playing it all together. And they were like the 10 people you would not expect to be playing this. Like the stereotypical like Hispanic fuckboy who like cares more about his looks than anything else. Like basically.
I didn't say that out loud. That's quite.
But they were all like the last person you expect to play chess, and we all got pretty good at it. Like at the beginning, like I would just kick a lot of their asses, but by the end of it, I was losing a shit ton of games to everyone like evenly, to the point that it got kind of weird. Like we started getting people from the chess club hearing that we talked about that we played chess.
We're gonna whoop your ass.
Like you guys should come join, and we were just like no.
I actually like. I remember hearing about that from the orchestra and the ROTC side of things because I was like, I heard a bunch of people were starting to get into chess, and I was like, why are people getting into chess?
It was true.
It was RO.
Yeah, and then we started playing chess like the way kids slack off in class. We were doing that, but with chess on our phones, and we started to bring in more and more people into chess to the point where like almost like a third of the people in like most of our class had chess, and we're just like, hey, you down for a game? And I remember at some point, I eventually did go to the chess club's fucking room at lunch, right? Mm-hmm. And I went in there, and this guy like greeted me. It's like, oh, are you new? It's like I'll play your first game with you, right? And I beat him like pretty fast. And then he kind of like just walked away and says like, good game. Just like fucked off basically. And then one of like my like classmates who like I had some of the honors classes with, he just came up to me and he was like, hey, like I didn't know you were doing chess. I was like, oh, like yeah, I just came by like to stop by real quick. It's like, oh, like how'd your game go? I was like I hope it wasn't too hard. It's like, no, I beat him. It's like, you beat him? It's like, yeah. It's like, why? It's like, that was the vice president of the chess club.
Oh shit!
Was that
Big
was that Adam?
I don't know his name. I didn't get the guy's name, but
Because
Damn, you fucked them up so hard. You're like, I don't need to know your fucking name.
all right,
He just-
all right.
yeah, he just walked out, and I was just like, oh, well then. And then I stopped going to the chess club.
Damn, bro.
I was pretty good at chess.
At that point, I was just getting a little too worried about myself. I was just like, okay, maybe I should just stop with this chess thing.
Slow down.
Slow down
There-
the chess a bit.
A consequence of that, me and you know who, our old friend, me and him had a chess match because of that shit.
Yeah.
Like it was Mr.
Connors.
No, it was Mr. Child Predator.
Oh. After some technical difficulties, we're back.
To put it lightly.
Anyways, what were you saying about the chess story?
So, Mr. Alleged Child, the smart English teacher. What are you fucking doing?
We might have to restart that.
Anyway, it was me and my friend, and we were sitting in his class, and he was talking about like the soccer kids in chess, and my friend was like, "Hey, I'm really good at chess," and I'm like, "Bet, I'll kick your ass," and then I did, and like
Oh yeah, he
10
had
moves.
chess tables over there.
Yeah, because he was good at chess. He was a really, really smart guy, except for when he wasn't.
Yeah,
like when he was touching kids.
You think you know a guy. He was the one that everyone went to for like those like emotionally unstable kids.
Yeah.
Who hung out in the English teacher's room.
He was a really cool guy. That's why everyone was so shaken up about it.
Keyword was.
was
Definitely a hard was.
hard was.
I didn't know that teacher until after the whole rumors.
No, I had his sophomore English, not his AP, so I wasn't as in touch.
Well, maybe it's good that you were out of his touch. All right, then it's come to our attention that
Chess is canceled.
chess is too chess at our school has some dark roots in it. But finish your story in the most PG way possible.
No, that was pretty much the story. Me and him played chess. I clapped his ass in 10 moves. Speaking of clapping in a certain amount of moves, do you guys remember when Moist Critical, they did a chess tournament with a bunch of Twitch streamers, and Moist Critical checkmated XQC in 6 moves?
What?
I did
Yeah.
hear about
I
that.
did.
That was fucking crazy. I think that happened this year, too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
It
last
has
year.
like
Well, last year, technically.
Bro, chess did too much to that school. There are too many deep scars in that school because of chess and that one teacher. It'll never be the
Well,
same.
apparently more than one teacher.
huh?
What?
Speaking about Heart of the Cards, how about we talk about something that 3 of us have recently seen a resurgence in, and that's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, can we really call it recently?
I mean,
We got back into it hard like 5 years ago. Like we actually started you and me specifically got really back into it like 5 years ago.
I was more into the games more than the actual copies because I knew how struggling it is to get the actual cards. That kind of gave up on the actual game, but the video games were more like my.
You know, this is a very unique situation that I can be in. Manu and Luna, what is your view on like those kind of card games? Like
competitive card games where
Like-
cards have more monetary value depending on if they're relevant or not in the meta.
what do you guys view on
Honestly, I'm more of a collector, so if I were to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, I'd more want to like collect them
that? Oh, that'd
than
be
battle
so
them.
hard.
But I
Good
like
luck.
I've been like looking at Yu-Gi-Oh, and I've been on the edge of getting into it for so long now.
You know what card recently
Alright.
came out? A very special card came
me
out
give
recently
you
that's
Senki
called
Dragons?
it's called the 10,000 Dragons.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
That's
about.
because there are 10,000 unique Yu-Gi-Oh cards
Yep.
printed in North America.
That's crazy.
So if you want to
Wow.
start collecting, start now.
And
think
then there's
it's
only
just in
900 Pokemon.
Because some OCG cards aren't in the TCG.
That's why in the TCG there's over 10,000. That's why we didn't get it at the same time as them because they waited until it was the 10,000th in North America.
I do play Magic the Gathering occasionally,
Do you really?
so yeah,
Oh.
I do have a big deck.
My dad, he was telling me just the other day, he's like, Magic's the biggest card game, and I'm like,
Well,
well, I don't know, but like,
Mm,
It probably is.
and he was telling me how he has so many like rare cards in storage, and
there's
he could go like get them and make like thousands, and I'm like,
go
why,
look
then
with
why
that.
don't
Like the
you?
old, the old cards, they're like
Like the
some of them got banned.
the Power
actually.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of those at least.
Some of them got banned because after the movement, There's certain cards that killed.
The way someone I've seen describe it before is that like in old Magic there were these like really good cards called like the Power 9 I think, and they're like considered like the best cards in the game. Like they have the strongest abilities, and like the mentality with printing new cards is that the goal is to not make them stronger than the Power 9.
Mm-hmm.
But in Yu-Gi-Oh, the exact opposite.
Power creep came in.
Power
and
creep
literally made everything. It turned it into a game of rock paper scissors.
kind of. you end up playing less turns, but you play the turns longer in a sense.
Yeah, we hate to break it to you, Manu, but a couple years ago,
We tried to get into
Laura
Magic.
and I tried getting into Magic, and it just would
It
not
takes
stick.
forever, trust me.
It takes forever, and also going from the speed of Yu-Gi-Oh to the speed of Magic was the most disorienting thing ever.
It's very slow.
It's very slow. Part of me can kind of appreciate like a long, drawn-out battle, but at the same time, it's kind of like I'd rather get in multiple matches in a day.
At the same time, I see where the appeal of like more strategic and
Yeah, I
long
can I
battles-
can see it if like you're investing into like a single deck, and you want that deck to be as good as possible, so that you can just have like one really long match with that one deck.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like I think the big thing about Yu-Gi-Oh that appeals to me at least is kind of like the myriad of summoning mechanics, and like not even just summoning mechanics, but like
just techniques,
like the
amount
techniques
of-
and the gimmicks within the summoning mechanics in a sense. That is kind of like I can build multiple decks that do things differently.
Yep.
And
even
still
then, you
have-
could build a same deck that does different things. Like,
Yeah, you can use the same engine to do different things with it.
Yeah, because like Magic feels like a game of Planet Side, bro. If you guys ever played that,
I wanted to get into it when the second
you
game
never
came
don't
out.
want to.
it just sounds
match-
very grueling and
Yeah, a match takes like 2 hours.
Oh god.
It's like Battlefield. Man, fuck Battlefield.
Like at least we're not like meta players in a sense. Like we're not playing like super expensive decks. We're playing like more like rogue strategies, if that makes any sense. So they're still like really good in modern day, but they're not like top
They're
of
not
the line.
top.
yeah, you
competitive
wouldn't be
tier.
able to go to like
'Cause,
a
like-
local and sweep.
Because like high level Yu-Gi-Oh at this point is kind of like, this is a weird analogy, but hear me through the end. It's like a game of chess. Like if you actually look at professional chess players, a lot of them say that they know that they lost like within like 3 moves, but they just wait it out until the other person fucks up. So it's like I'm losing right now, but if they make a mistake, this could be a draw.
Because a lot of times
That-
they kind of see it's like, oh, if I move this, they can really.
Yeah, because they can see
Yeah.
like they can see the patterns showing up already, and it's this kind of like similar thing with like meta Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's kind of like the first turn you can probably tell if you're gonna lose or you're gonna win at
Okay,
that
Lelouch.
at that level, but if you if you wait for them to misplay or like do something wrong, then you can probably capitalize on that. And that's what the really high level of Yu-Gi-Oh, like that's not what we're doing in a sense. We're still having fun with it.
You're literally describing Lelouch's whole character in Code Geass.
Do you guys think some of your games hit a point where they're not fun anymore?
Video games or just games for
Any-
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Well, I mean, we're not staying on traditional games at this point.
Clearly,
Most,
Well,
most of
clearly, the moment I put a card down and he starts like, I don't know, shuffling through his deck is when I know I lost.
What, you don't like seeing me pick up my deck 15 times in one time?
No, the moment you pick up twice, I'm already surrendering.
Hog of Greed.
No,
If you pick up that deck when it's my turn, I'm punching you.
I feel I get like burnt out a lot from my games. That's why I have a hard time like grinding. Because I like collecting plats in my spare time on PlayStation.
do you
But, like,
think you like a game less after you complete the plat?
It depends. So
Danganronpa.
Danganronpa. I was actually gonna say that. So a game like Persona, when I platted it, I thought it was the best game I've ever platted,
It's also
and I
pretty
still
easy.
feel that way.
It's also a pretty easy plat, isn't it?
I mean, it's mostly just like
very time
playing the game, but
It-
there are a lot of like side
It makes
trophies.
you play the game for a long time, but the game is enjoyable. So
The only
playing it for
trophy
a
I
long
need
time
is the
for
Maid
that-
I
Cafe
still
one.
yet need to play it.
The
You
Maid
definitely
Cafe
need to
trophy,
play
that's
it.
the only one I need to
Fuck
flat.
the main
Because like
cafe.
right now, Destiny has been such a chore for me because I've been
Yeah, that's why I can't get into
Delivering
those like long format online games. Like that's why I fell out of GTA 5 because I felt like I was just like rinsing and repeating.
That in GTA 6.
But that was like GTA Online like 6 years ago at
yeah.
this point.
Well, the thing is with Destiny, it's just like right now I've just been power leveling up, and you know it does get repetitive, and it's just like I want to stop doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that way with like all my games right now. Black Ops Cold War, I've been grinding for Dark Matter and
Oof.
Dark Ether.
Ooh.
Ugh, I haven't even like played zombies in like 2 weeks now because I'm so burnt out.
Shit.
Destiny 2, it's the same repetitive shit every single week. You know, I get on, I get my 50 fucking...
Pinnacle stuff and everything.
No, the 50 memory
Fragments.
hereafter pieces from Varix, and then I go and turn them in, go get my fucking signal, and then I don't
I
play
guess
it again for another week.
It's like a chore, but like once you... One of the main reasons, like one of my motivations is just doing the raid weekly and maybe helping people out. It's apparently this is really beautiful part in the Deepstone Crypt. I really want to experience it right there with like a raid group one time. So I've been grinding it a lot.
Like I hit that point last year, or depending on when this comes out. But with Animal Crossing Super Hard,
Oh
like,
yeah.
for the first 3 months of New Horizon, that game was like crack. You know, like I couldn't put that shit
Every
down.
day for
I
like
could.
at least a
Every
couple of
day,
hours.
farming it every day, like going to other people's islands, like doing like commerce and like trading, like following the stock market and everything.
That shit got old after 2 weeks.
No, like catching all the animals and everything, like for the museum, and then once they introduced
That
the
was
paint,
only the best part, was filling out the museum.
yeah, and then like after like 3 months, like when there was this like dip in updates for a while, where there just wasn't much to do except like get the monthly stuff, and then once you got the monthly stuff, you were basically done for the month. I just stopped playing. I just like let go of the game basically. I was like, I gotta step away, or else I'm never gonna get off of this thing.
It was like, you guys peer pressured me really hard into buying
Oh
that
yeah,
game.
because that was the peak of it.
It was,
Oh,
for me, it was between Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing, and I bought Doom Eternal.
And then McDonald's.
And you know what? Doom Eternal was still a 10 times better game. Fuck you.
And then we showed up to McDonald's, working all 4 of us with switches, cornering him in one room, showing him the loading screen of it.
Join us. What was it? Join us? Or what were you chanting?
No, we were saying like, ooh. No, we were like mocking, like, oh, he bought Doom Eternal. Look at this man.
And you know what? I fucking enjoyed Doom Eternal.
But yeah, no, that game just like once it got like repetitive and kind of like monotonous, it kind of just fell off a cliff for me. Because I feel like I like those Civilization games to an extent where you build stuff up, but once it's like on autopilot, that should just become so boring. Like,
This man likes Mafia City.
yeah, like I play like FIFA a lot still. Like I do career modes, right? And for anyone who doesn't know how like sports work, like I like picking like a lower league team and taking them to the highest league in my career mode, so that way like I can make them like top team. But once I'm like 2 or 3 seasons in that top league, I get bored so fast. Cause I'm just like, man, I'm just winning this on repeat. But it's like at least during the climb, teams get harder to play against, and like you have to grow with it. But once you're at the top and you're like at the top of your career, basically, it's kind of
Guess I'll die.
yeah. Because I used to play the Ultimate Team mode too.
That's what happened
got-
to me with Pokemon Emerald.
Really?
Where, yeah, because at that time I didn't really care about the Pokédex. Like, I kept looking and, like, trying to fill out slots, like, seeing if there was another evolution of the Pokemon I liked. Or that's how I found out about Flygon. Is because I was like, is there more to Trapinch? Like, is that it?
Is there something after
And then,
Bravo?
and then it started evolving, and I was like, pogging. What happened is I lost my shiny Rayquaza because I reset the save file.
Don't cry, bro.
Big goofy goober moment.
You know, as Reggie Phil's Amin says, if a game's not fun, why bother?
Yeah, it's not fun. That's why I don't play Smash anymore.
Now I feel like with a lot of like the grind heavy / oriented games, I feel like there's this finite peak that you shouldn't pass, because once you pass that, it's like all downhill.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I guess
Like you reach a high, but then you're just gonna be chasing that high again.
and then it's not the same. Like
It's never gonna be the same.
personally for me, the game that really hit me the most would be Minecraft.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
like
There's always that period where you're like on it's whenever you start a new world.
everything's like autonomous. You're doing things like in and out, and like you literally have everything. You have so much to do for literally days on end.
Yeah.
But once you finish everything in
Once
there,
you basically have an automated system providing stuff for you.
once you finish your house, once you finish like your farm or whatever
That
it is you're
is-
filling, everything literally goes downhill.
That is exactly why Terraria is the superior game.
I mean, I was just using Minecraft as this example, but I feel like that could really be applied to anything.
Because I feel like Minecraft, you can fix that by just starting a new world.
Honestly,
You know
with Minecraft with mods, it's called the 2.12.2 update, and it comes with like all different mods mixed into one. It has like the nuclear generator mod where you use nuclear energy and all that to provide power, which is called RF. And you use RF to like power up the ME system, which is like the pretty much like storage devices, and it's like hard drives to keep more storage. I played that for like hours, days. I even took a week off of work and just farmed on that. and I made it to like the highest rank in that without like paying $2.99
Yeah.
for rank.
That's also why I can't play creative Minecraft.
Yeah,
Because it's kind of like, oh, I have everything.
unless
But
you
like
want to do some
you don't really
pixel
have
art,
a,
you know.
a motive.
Yeah.
Like I guess another example that I could use for this is Skyrim. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a great game and everything, but there's like this period if you're just like playing the game normally where it's like you're kind of like static in the sense like you're leveling up, but like everything keeps on going like exponentially higher. So it's like you literally feel like you're just
Nothing's
kind of
changed.
you know, nothing's changed. You're like the same little weakling as you always were.
I feel like Skyrim definitely needs more like armor sets and weapons and like materials to work with, because it's like.
To be fair, like, how old is that game at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just I feel like this could apply to a lot of games in general. Like
like a lot of adventure games hit that point, because like with Breath of the Wild, like there's like 100 shrines and like 4 or 5 main dungeons, right? But then once you complete all of that takes you like a long time. But once you hit all of that, I don't really play the game anymore, because if I go back into it, there's not much left to explore. There's like, I have everything that I need with me. Like I can just manhandle everything, and it's too long to restart the game.
Yeah, you don't want to restart it.
So it's kind of like I like to keep that memory there, even though it was like it's a great memory, but I just don't want to. I don't want to jump back into it because I don't think I can do anything with it at this point. Anything else you guys have felt kind of burned out on?
Video games.
Video games in general.
When you're unemployed, video games get really boring. I was even like looking through my card binder today, looking for something to work on, and I just couldn't. And I was like, come on.
I'm kind of grateful that I have the Yu-Gi-Oh game right now, because like it has so much cards that there is to get that it's gonna take me a while for me to get those. So that means I won't be burned out of that game anytime soon.
See, but I feel like with games like that don't necessarily have like a specific purpose, the replayability on that
is really high.
Really high.
Especially because it's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Rhythm games.
Because realistically, it's like, oh, I like this deck, recreate it in the game. I can just play it against you in the game, and then boom, if it works, if it doesn't, then I can either buy the physical
Make a new deck.
or make a new deck. Yeah.
How's the that Yu-Gi-Oh game? I've been seeing you playing it every time I turn on my Switch.
It's kind of like the paid version of YGO because it's not up to date with like the most recent booster pack right now, but it is useful that realistically, if I make a deck, it's not gonna be using like cards that are meta cards right now.
How much is it? I might use that as an excuse.
It's a $40 game.
Might use that as an excuse to get into Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's a really fun game, but it's kind of like a game like Yu-Gi-Oh, which I've seen a lot of power creep, is way more enjoyable if you have someone to go on the journey with you, because you can start at like shitty like 2001 like levels of like combat basically, and then gradually grow with like kind of like in your own timeline in a sense, as you learn more summoning mechanics and you learn more techniques.
I had Louis because a lot of the times in the loading screens, they give you like a basic information about a random card.
Yeah.
A lot of the times it's archetype cards, so I would just mention him, hey, is this card even good?
Even like that, like if you've been playing the game long enough, you remember like learning about synchro summons, then learning about XC summons, then learning about like the pendulums and links. As they came out, like you got eased into it in a sense. Whereas like now you kind of just have to jump into the deep end. If you want to play with if you want to play with someone who's been playing for like a long time, you need to jump into the deep end. That's such an easy way to make it.
I feel like I've improved because I remember before when I first started with like Yu-Gi-Oh, like the extra deck was like, damn, the moment you summon one, it was hard, but it was worth it. Now it's like I can have like 3 of
it's a stepping stone kind of.
It's like boom, like all fucking 3 boss dragons in my field at once. It's like, damn, I remember when 1 was hard enough.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I actually do appreciate the fact that we've grown up with.
Yeah.
Because considering the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh is still somewhat relevant today, not entirely popular, but it's still ongoing.
It's kind of come back a little bit more during Master Rule 5, because Master Rule 4 definitely killed a lot of people. Like it definitely made a lot of people leave the game. But then,
if you don't have link monsters, before,
you can't play.
You couldn't even play.
Yeah,
but now you definitely.
The fact that we literally, like you said, basically saw the evolution of the metagame with like, I don't know, it's kind of nice.
It is nice
seeing.
So that's why
how far we've come.
It's so hard to recommend someone to get into the game by themselves, because they're gonna start at like step 1, and we're gonna
monsters,
and we're gonna be like on step 20, like just laughing at them basically, like questioning why they're doing everything.
Y'all already do that with Pokemon and me.
Yeah, true.
Ooh, you Granbull.
Oh, my man put a snowball on his team.
For context, we bullied out of having a Granbull in one of his Pokemon.
No, we bullied him out of the
Arbok.
Cause we were like, why you using Arbok? And then,
Yeah, and then the moment he replaced, we're like, why'd you get rid of Arbok?
and then he finished the game. He's like, I'm so happy about my team. And then he listed Snubble, and then, like, no one congratulated him. We were just all like, Snubble,
Drake,
Psycho Mantis.
Like, I feel like if you three were to learn something like Yu-Gi-Oh, it would be best if you three learned together, as opposed to trying to imitate me and Beta, because it would just be like
You guys would get lost and disinterested.
you would get disheartened so fast.
So what you're saying is if I were to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, I should do it with Mono.
Basically,
I feel like that'd be perfect.
that'd be the easiest way to learn, because you would like slowly
you guys
grow.
would be on par in skills wise.
And then you guys could just play off of
It's
each
like in
other.
Pokemon, you don't fight the champion right away. You battle your rival at level
Yeah.
5.
But in the anime, you technically could.
I mean, you could.
You lose instantly,
You'd still
but you
get
could.
stomped.
One of my favorite jokes in the original Pokemon anime is they went to this school and they were like, Pidgeotto learns this move at level 24, and he's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and then they never talk about levels ever again in this
Yeah.
show.
Sometimes they talk about it.
No.
Like the
Rock
greatest,
would.
the greatest ever level 5 Snivy defeating Pikachu after 5 seasons.
It's because he got like shocked by Sekiro.
Bro, his base stat should still be high enough to beat that little shit. You tell me, like, a level 80 Pikachu's quick attack wouldn't defeat a new Snivy?
It was
Or
hard, man.
even then, I'm pretty sure Pikachu has a type advantage because grass isn't very effective to electric.
Isn't
Yeah.
it?
No.
No, I think it's just like...
Or is it the other way
I
around?
think it's
Either
just
way,
normal.
he should not have been getting stomped by that. But that's the
100%.
point. That's the point we're trying to make. It's like,
You shouldn't throw yourself off the deep end if you know like it's not gonna benefit you in any.
definitely try to find people who will learn it with you, or else you're just gonna get like humiliated.
to put it lightly.
Yeah, it's just a 1-to-1.
Also, with that level of play, it's kind of like it's way easier to learn, because if you decide to buy cards, those cards that you're gonna be buying for like that style of playing are so cheaper compared to modern cards. Like, I feel like the further you get into the game, the more you'll rationalize what price you're gonna
I
pay
had
for each
backwards.
card.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Electric is not very effective against grass.
Huh, Beta. Like you know, like I'm gonna get these 10-cent cards. You know, maybe I'll drop $1 for this really good card.
You know,
he's really important.
$5 isn't that bad.
You know, if I just run one of this $10 card, it's worth it. You know, 'cause
maybe
he's
if,
the main strategy of the deck.
Maybe if I dedicate 1/5 of my paycheck to
Oh,
to
yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Maybe if I choose to eat or buy this card.
Bro, that's how I'm gonna be once I start
If
working.
you
with
lose
my
the tournament,
statues.
you get to eat.
Oh no! Like
fucking
I'm at
used
I'm at a point right now where it's like $20 is my limit for. I've bought a $20 card that I use in the deck.
I have a
Can you
problem. I
buy
can't.
booster packs with that?
I buy
Just like 20.
I buy booster packs for fun, because one thing I really like about Yu-Gi-Oh, and I guess this isn't really common in other card games like Magic, I don't know about Pokemon, but is that Yu-Gi-Oh really likes to reprint its product.
Yeah.
So it's like one of the things we were talking about, how we grew with the product. It's like decks that were like top of the line meta tier decks like 4 years ago that we used to like look up to, because they look like the most crazy shit ever.
Holy shit.
You can probably find them for like less than $20 now, like the entire thing.
Zodiac.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like we can play those strategies now because they got reprinted. I'm pretty sure if they were never reprinted, they would still be like as expensive as they were back then.
Mm-hmm.
And
That'd be
that's
insane.
and like one of the things that I do like that they started doing these last 3 years is called mega packs, where it's like they take like the highlights of the year basically and put them into one like tin, and you get like 3 of those, and they come with 15 cards each, and they're usually worth their money. Like if you look at them, like it's like a retrospective of the previous year.
I like that reprinting thing, man. I feel that there's in I don't remember the name of the box or the series, but there's a Lugia at the like as the chase card for like $129,000.
129.
But the Darkness
Thousand.
Ablaze booster pack
Not
that I
bad,
just
bro.
opened,
Yeah.
I got 3 Lugias and they were like 5 cents. And I'm just like comparing these 2 Lugias, and
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
Yeah, there are definitely still some cards that hold their value over like a long time, but it's just like you see, like as the newer printings come out, the newer printings get cheaper and cheaper, and that's what I think. It's a little bit an easier barrier to entry, because I know one of the problems I hear some Magic players talk about is that the land cards, some of them are really expensive, and you need to run a shit ton in
Yep.
each deck. Where it's like a $60 land card, and you have to like basically just invest on your resource before you can even play the game. And I feel like that would scare a lot of people off.
That shouldn't be a requirement for
I know that.
the entry of a game.
Whereas like I feel like at least with Yu-Gi-Oh, if you're just trying to get into it for fun, you can like
They have starter decks.
there's starter
Literally
decks, structure
meant
decks.
for-
Yeah, Magic has that too.
Pokemon
Yeah.
has those too.
Yeah.
Like any box that you buy that isn't like booster packs, most of the time will come with like a map and a like tutorial, and like even the theme decks, although they're like usually monotype, they're pretty good.
I like how this just became the Yu-Gi-Oh episode.
Well, it is traditional media.
It is traditional, yeah.
We did mention other cards.
Do you guys
Have
enjoy
any-
playing Zathura?
What the fuck?
Oh, the
Oh, is
fucking
that the,
movie?
the Space Jumanji?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
fucking
God.
love that movie.
It was weird when you found out like the fucking. Have we all watched it?
Yes.
No, I don't know what this is.
Okay, Corey, here's then.
What?
I don't care.
Wasn't it weird when we found out like the tall magic space future guy was technically just the older brother?
I
That
haven't
was
seen
a
movie in so
childish
long.
plot.
You guys
twist.
haven't?
I haven't seen
It's-
it in so long. I
No,
don't
but there's like the
remember
parts
that
like, oh, a mysterious man shows up at your door and they're like, huh? And it's like the fucking space guy.
That's the guy that helps out, right?
Yeah, that's the guy that helps
Yeah.
him out. It's like, I need a sandwich, blah, blah, and they're like, why are you even here? And blah, blah, blah. And like, they call him out. And then technically the older guy is just the positive future when the older brother ended up wishing for the younger brother to not be born, but they need 2 players to play that game. So he just wished them back.
Still, that's like a child level
Wow.
plot twist.
Yeah.
Like depth wise.
It's like, oh, it's me in the
Sounds like
future.
Dragon Ball Z to me.
Next time.
Next time on Zatura.
Well, is there any other last minute topics that you guys would want to cover?
Bro, I always see a Dragon Ball card game and they never last that long.
I know.
I always see a different
Oh my
Dragon Ball
God.
card game.
So, do you guys remember the games that came in the like really long, but like thin boxes, and it was like, don't break the ice, ants in my pants, like those type games?
I never
Apples to
bought them.
apples?
Oh, red apple, green apple, yeah.
No, not apples to apples. That's a card game. But I used to play the shit out of those. We had a lot of them.
I remember when Cards Against Humanity came
Yeah.
out and just took out like the entire internet.
Apples to apples was fun before Cards Against Humanity.
Like after
Back in
Cards,
elementary school?
I never played it in elementary school.
There was a
That's the
peachy
thing.
version of it.
I feel like the board games a lot of the traditional games you play growing up are dependent on what your elementary teacher has in their room.
honestly.
Because honestly, my 6th grade teacher used to teach chess. That was part of her curriculum. She would teach people chess.
Oh.
I feel like that's where me and a lot of the soccer kids probably learned it, and we're just like, man, chess sounds good right now.
I could really go for some chess.
Bro, low-key, I kind of want to buy a chessboard now.
We used to have one.
I just have this like nice like glass chessboard.
Oh,
I
wow.
have a
Used to have one of
chessboard.
those too.
My great uncle, who's awesome, he made me a marble chessboard, and I have a whole Destiny themed
Oh, sick.
chess set. We could use that.
Oh, nice.
That'd be
Luis used to be friends with someone whose dad was like a chess master.
a grandmaster.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
One of our old, I guess, associate managers. He used to be a grandmaster.
Really?
Yeah, he used to play
shit.
chess. He would come over to the store and show us like his chess like.
Man is falling asleep over there.
You know, I think this is actually a great place to call it a night.
So who's next on the host rotation then?
That was
So that'd be Manu.
Would be Manu. Any
Yo.
idea for the next week's episode?
Honestly, I was thinking like mostly about like music. Like we all played instrument, and at least
he plays the instrument of his feet.
I used to
He
play.
used to play the violin.
I used to play the violin.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
No, he was Mr. Krabs. He's like. Nee, nee.
I wanted to like hear everybody's like interest in instruments, even like type of music they like playing. Do you like 4/4? Do you like 6/8?
Well,
Was it 6/8?
I don't know these terms,
No,
but I
it's
will learn.
6/4.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
I'm not like crazy into music. I mean, I played cello for 8 years,
Didn't you want-
but like
Oh, we'll get to that next week.
I was never like crazy into it.
I mean, we'll get to talk about like how long we played our instrument for, and how if we enjoy it or not, we want to pursue it still.
Yeah. Even then, I'm sure we could just expand it to encompass, everyone
Interest.
else's interests
Start
and
talking
ideas.
about Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh my god.
Bro, he'll be like Briggs before the end of this podcast. With like One Piece.
These are giga.
All right then.
But without further ado, everyone, thanks for joining us
Thank you
this
very
week.
much for joining us.
This
Have a
has
good
been
one.
Put On a Headset. Shout out to Hot Wheels.
Hey, that went hard.